All right, welcome to our second episode. Unfortunately, Ray is unable to join us this week. He's a little bit under the weather, so we have our special guest star today, Tom. He's going to be filling in for Ray. You got some big shoes to fill. I'm just going to let you know.
Oh,
So,
but I got a tiny. Oh, sorry. Continue.
um, but had a little bit of housekeeping. So last week we said that our podcast was going to be all things nerdy with Ray and Serge. However, I found out someone else already has that name. So we're now how's the word I'm putting restructured, and we're going to be the nerdy phase with Ray and Surge. As far as what we do, nothing has changed. It's all going to be the same. However, I kind of like this one a little bit better because I feel like we all have a little bit of a nerdy phase that we never grew out of. Doesn't matter what it is. We all nerd out about something. And then once we stop nerding out about something else, we move on to another nerd out session. Doesn't matter. So things like that will remain the same. But first, let's talk about what nerdy thing have we done this week. Me personally, uh, let's see. I'm still reading Ready Player One. I'll probably finish it probably by either tonight or tomorrow. Man, let me tell you, it's if you see the movie, and if you haven't, I'm sorry, you should have by now. It is way, way, way different. I was really surprised. The other thing, let's see, I got into Spider-Man 2. I'm not gonna give you my opinion on it right now. We'll talk about that a little bit later, a little bit in the segment. But I pretty much played that all day yesterday. That's all I did. So, what about you, Tom?
I would say that I'm very proud of the kiddos. They're starting to get into Halo. So of course we've got a blended family and everything. So I got my kiddo who played through the first two campaign missions of Halo CE, and then he's been playing. We've just been playing the multiplayer, which I'm just destroying him. Like I'll let him to get a few shots on me, and then after a few shots, it's just like boom, headshot. So, and then the other two, they started playing tonight as well. We only had like an hour because between dinner and everything else, and it needs to be early bedtime for them. So, yeah, no, it's finally going to get them on the whole Halo thingamabob. Unfortunately, we don't have a console, so I've got my gaming PC, and then we're able to Frankenstein a pretty decent gaming PC that'll run pretty much anything. Of course, not the highest levels, but so we've just been playing on two separate accounts because for a few days and logged into his Microsoft account. So we're able to, so literally over on said couches, they're over there playing, I'm over here playing. So, but yeah, no, getting the kids into Halo.
That's exciting.
Oh heck yeah,
Whenever I play games with my kids, there's no mercy.
no, no,
Dad always wins. It's just how it goes. I mean, there's always someone better. If you're not gonna get better if you're easy on them. So,
yeah. So what is it? Super Smash Bros. Like, just
uh,
keep destroying over and over again. But Evan's the only one who is getting involved in video games. The other two, um, I don't know. It's just like I really wish they would get into something at some point in time soon, versus just like watching, the stupid videos on YouTube and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong,
yeah.
they all watch videos on YouTube, but at least there is
I
a
think it's a kid
subject
thing.
matter that, my kiddo goes to versus the other two go to. So, um,
Yeah, YouTube is a big thing.
it's
Now,
insane. But yeah, point is though, is yeah, no, the Evan's actually starting to be able to beat me from time to time, and he's only 6. Now, granted, big caveats in terms of a controller not working and whether or not I've got a character who just sucks. So between bad controller plus crappy character, yeah, he might win, but he's giving me a run for my money here and there.
I don't. Unfortunately, none of my kids are super talented on that. When it comes to the game front,
Mm-hmm.
they try, but yeah. But I don't have Smash Brothers. I want to get it, but like I said last week, I just never had anyone to play with. So this go around, it's the only game I never, only Smash Brothers I never got into. But now I do have something. You said you've been teaching your kids to play Halo.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's
You
only the
know,
past couple days. I wouldn't say teaching, but they're getting introduced. Continue.
I'm just not I I was talking about this with one of my coworkers the other day. I never played the Halo campaign. And in fact, let me say this. For the longest time, I was never into first person shooters. I was never into first person shooters, right?
Okay,
And so I couldn't really tell you when the last time I actually finished a first person shooter campaign.
so that's all
Couldn't
pretty
tell
much
you.
I played. Like never I didn't really have a whole lot of the RPG games and everything because I didn't get. I mean, I had the NES, but pretty much all we had was like Mario, Duck Hunt. Um, what's that? That Excite Bike. We had another. Oh, we had some RC Pro Am. That was a dope game. But yeah, no. But then when we got the PlayStation, pretty much everything I played was either a shooter or like Spyro or something. But yeah, I mean, so I just never had the opportunity to get into too many role playing type games. But no, I get it. You know, you get whatever you
Uh,
get.
which is funny because you think people think shooters are predominantly the market. I
Mm-hmm.
I disagree because I have personally beaten over me myself. I've probably beaten close to over 800 games and have probably played over 1,000.
Shit.
But I'm not a completionist. I just go out there, play the game. Sometimes if I really like the game, I'll go back and play it again and complete it. But I just don't see the appeal for achievements or trophies, anything like that, because it's nothing special. You can get it, I can get it. What I'm showing off, oh, we both got platinum, great.
I'm a
You know,
completionist in terms of like I want to at least beat the storyline of a game.
well, yeah, I finished the storyline, and of course, as I'm doing the storyline, I do side quests
Mm-hmm.
if they're along my way. But I'm not gonna go out of the way to 100% the game and get every little thing. Like,
Even Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, like I'll beat everything, but you're fucking crazy if you think I'm going to go around and pick up all those shit seeds.
I agree with you. Now, I won't talk about Tears of the Kingdom because I'll get into that one a little bit later as well. But Breath of the Wild, same thing. I found all the shrines, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
So then I was like, yeah, I'll get some Korok seeds. I collected about 120, and I was like, dude, how many of these are there? I was like, I'm probably almost done. No, there's 900. I'm like,
yeah.
nope, fuck that. I'm done.
And then after you find out what your prize is for getting it, just a
The
big pile of shit.
yeah,
I love the
so
troll, but no.
but like my wife, she got all 900 twice. She
Damn.
did it in regular mode, and then she had a
Master
um,
mode. Yeah.
master mode where she got all 900. So I'm like, I was like, okay, I married the perfect one. If she can get all 900 seeds, that's a winner in my book. So, but anywho, let's move on to our news. So we call this segment Nerd News. So we have a few things here we want to discuss about. First off, Travis and Kelsey. No, Travis, Kelsey, and who? Taylor Swift. I don't have to say anything else. That's that's it. Let's move on. Um, have you ever seen the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Yes. Yes, I have. Great movie.
Oh, I love that movie. It's probably my top five. A lot of people may not agree with it, but it's definitely my top five. I personally think it still holds up to this day. And this movie came out in like 2010.
Yep.
Still holds up. Now, Netflix just got the entire old cast together and released Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It came out Friday. I'm pretty excited to watch it. It's an animated series. It's supposed to follow the comic book more closely. Um, and then just go from there. Really, I really don't. I don't have much to say on it because
And
I
I would
haven't got a
say
chance to watch it.
I mean, obviously, still have to watch it, but so obviously, chatting about this in our little pre show here, I went and looked at some some images and everything of what it's going to be like, and honestly, animation style looks awesome. I think obviously I'm excited for the show itself, but I think
Right.
the show and how they're doing the animation, where it almost looks like it's 8-bitty, but it's super detailed because it's not 8-bit. I think they're spot on.
I mean, IGN gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
so
granted,
it's
I trust. rating systems only so much, but at the same time, I feel like they're probably true to sport on that one.
I used to, as far as rating systems, this is a little Robert Trail. Sorry, I agree with you,
Mhm.
but I've come to trust IGN a little bit more than others because I've been listening to a lot of their podcasts,
Mhm.
and these people are like, you know, I've gotten to know some of the people through the podcast, so they seem pretty passionate about this kind of stuff.
Good.
So the people who review it that I know give a legit review. Their review is like sincere, which is kind of cool. I know I really don't feel that way about a lot of reviews. I take it with a grain of salt. I don't always agree with the reviews, but you know, still good. The other thing I want to kind of touch on is so the most in demand series is of Q3. I don't know how many of these have you seen, but these are the few there. And the number one in demand series is the One Piece live action.
I could agree with that.
Um,
I think I've watched a couple episodes of One Piece in the past, and then my buddy Johnny was telling me like, "Hey man, you could have watched the One Piece live action." I did. I binged the crap out of it within a couple days. I'm like,
it
God
was good.
damn it! I'm like, fine, I'll watch the stupid anime show. So I started going. I'm only like 100 and something episodes in, but like that's one of those things I never wanted to start because there's so many freaking episodes. I'm like, I don't. Hey, nobody
I
has time for
started
that.
in 2010.
Hmm.
The episode they had just released was 523.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think
I
around the
it's a
same
it's
time is when I watched my couple episodes because my buddy Johnny was like, dude, yeah, it's like 500. Let's start now. So watched a couple episodes, but yeah, there were episode 500, and now we're what 1,000. Do you know how many
we were like
episodes roughly?
1090 or something like that. Um, it's it's a long show. We kind of touched on it last week with me and
1,083.
Ray.
Yep.
So we I was kind of telling him that the anime takes a minute to get into. Um, he was like, if it takes a minute to get into, it's probably dog water, and I'm like, yeah, I disagree with that. But the live action is next level. I was really really impressed with it. As far as how they did. I mean, yeah, granted, it's not the same as the anime as far as like the first arc that they did. They kind of mixed
Mhm.
three arcs in like 9 episodes, but or is it eight? I don't know, 8 or 9 episodes.
I think the biggest
But
thing is like again, just because it's live action, they don't have the budget for filler, so they just
no,
didn't put any filler in. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm down with that.
so
Of
but
course, the whole grandpa arc, I'm kind of excited to see that in the actual anime. Because
right,
what season's that? Do you think
which one?
the actual One Piece anime, the grandpa arc, where they actually find out that it's his grandpa who's the
Oh, that's not till much later.
oh man, it's a bummer because honestly, I loved him. I thought he was great.
I mean, the pirates find out it's his grandpa when he goes and he meets up with them, but the world doesn't find out till like much later.
Okay,
So yeah, you're looking at probably episode close to 400.
okay, well I'm a quarter of the way there.
Excuse me. Number two show that's been in demand has been Ahsoka. Um, I don't know if you watched that yet.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars
no,
Ahsoka.
I'm yeah. I mean, how dare you? That's the one thing that if you do bring up, I mean, granted, I haven't been able to get into the comic books, but
Me neither.
I've read a shit ton of the books. Anything that is actual video media, you know, been there, done that.
Now, here's my opinion on Ahsoka. I mean, don't get me personally. I
Hmm.
loved it.
Yeah.
Um, Spoiler alert. I'm very sorry at this point, but you know there is going to be a spoiler right now. When Thrawn arrives and you see him for the first time, when I found out that was the original voice actor, he's
Hmm.
playing a live action character. The Thrawn was he just took the show.
Yeah.
He was the best part of the show. I'm not a big fan of Rosario Dawson, Rosario, or whatever her name is,
Rosario.
Rosario
Yeah.
Dawson. Being Ahsoka, it's whatever.
Really?
I mean, she's doing an okay job. I think they could have picked someone better. I mean, they could have done the original voice, Ashley
Epstein.
Eckison, or is it what is it?
Ashley Epstein.
Epstein or
Eckstein.
Exon?
Eckstein.
Eckstein.
Eckstein. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry. We were
we,
almost. Both of us
we were
were almost
together. We
there.
got it. I think
It's
she
kind
would
of
have
like
been
your
a better
shirt.
live
We
action.
did the fusion and we figured it out.
That's right. I think she would have done the better job, honestly. But
It's hard to say because we were expecting a Clones War, Snippy, aka Snips, versus like an older, more mature, calm down. Like, so I can't really. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's when you've got what 30 years between the last time we saw her and this time we
yeah,
saw her, like, I guess maybe
but
not 30. Oh man, now I've got to find out what the actual timeline is. I'll figure that out later.
not in this podcast. So we'll hit that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Stay tuned for that episode. I'll
All
invite
right.
you for that one.
Okay.
Star Wars.
Also,
Um,
anytime you're talking anything Star Wars, please just shoot me an invite.
but like here, like now, from when we watching Ahsoka, because I know you must have seen Star Wars Rebels,
Yeah.
which was I thought was top notch. It's probably my favorite series. I liked it better than Clone Wars,
I
but
think the best
that's a hot
review
take.
I've ever seen is Cosmonaut, not Cosmonaut Quickie, because he does the Cosmonaut Quickies, but Cosmonaut Variety Hour, I think. I
hmm
think he does a really good breakdown in terms of like, when they're on, they're on. And then sometimes it's like, did we really need this episode? Is this really necessary? I guess you could almost say the same thing with anime and filler and everything. But yeah, either A, the episodes were boom, there, it's exactly what we needed. But other episodes, it's like, take it or leave it.
Right.
I think Clone Wars had a better ratio, in terms of good episodes versus whatever episodes. But I couldn't say there's any
Right.
bad episodes though.
And then but coming from the outside, I don't think it was very appealing. I know a lot of people who are Star Wars fans um, that got bored with it um, because they're like, what's going on? What happened? Who's this? Because it kind of takes a continuation from Rebel season 4. So after Rebel season 4 finishes, this is where Ahsoka picks up.
Okay.
To me, it felt like Rebel season 5, honestly.
Yes.
So just live action.
The
Um,
other big thing I think was a big misstep in terms of because I mean, again, I loved all of it. I thought it was great. However, though, a lot of it was slower. They were doing a lot of, I wouldn't say like any kind of expedition dump, but there was a lot of lore going on. And unless you're like into the books and the TV shows, if you're not just a movie, if you're just a movie person and that's it, the show doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But
right.
if you're in the shows, the TV show, the cartoons, the books, everything, like, oh, I see what's going on. I see what they're trying to do. Like, is it going to be Abeloth at the end? Do we know? Yeah, which, oh my
Right.
gosh, Balin was great. I
Oh,
love
Bailey and Skull.
you heard about the actor for Balin, right?
Yeah, that's sad. Ray
That is
Stevenson passed away.
depressing. He did
So
a great job. That beard, though. Oh, that beard.
yeah, anything he's touched has been great. I mean, he's played a Punisher in the Punisher Warzone. Fantastic job. He was a great in Thor. Excuse me. He was great in Thor. So,
Hmm.
but it was kind of sad. There's talks of having Dominic Purcell take over that role, but I kind of feel he's a little bit more chaotic. Have you? He's Dracula in Blade Trinity. I don't know if you remember that or not. So
So,
Dominic Purcell is who
oh
they're
yeah,
thinking about
yeah,
taking over.
yeah. Didn't he also play a character named Dom in Prison Break?
Yeah, yeah, he was in Prison Bank with that guy Wentworth something.
Oh no, his name was Lincoln. Okay, no, no. What was his actual name of the damn show? Because I feel like that's
He
lame.
was in Prison Bank. He also did Legends of Tomorrow.
No, I get he was in Prison Break, but I'm just kind of thinking like, was his name Dominic in the actual show? Oh
I
no, he
don't know.
was
I've never
Lincoln. He
seen
was
that one.
Lincoln. Never mind. That was a good show. I liked it.
So a lot of
Uh,
people say it was, but
I need to see him with a beard now because I mean, if you're gonna play the character, obviously, if you're gonna do the character, like that's one thing. It is what it is. Unfortunately, he passed away. There's nothing we can do about it. But because of that beard, now I've got to see. I don't see any images with him with a beard. So yeah, whatever. So
these
he's got to be
next
able
ones I
if he
probably
can't
won't
if he
have.
If
a
it
whole
can't
lot
pull
of
off the
opinion.
beard, then we can't have him.
My Adventures with Superman. It's on in demand. I guess it's on Adult Swim. I don't know anything about it.
Hmm.
So that one, Soka had 53.53K. And this is talking about uh, millions, I guess. That's how I usually go. But anywho, My Adventures with Superman. I'll have to check it out. I don't know anything about it personally.
That's yeah. No, I haven't even heard about that. I mean, I don't watch cable. Honestly, everything I watch nowadays is either going to be Netflix, Amazon. We do
Right.
have Peacock, and yeah, we do have Peacock now, which my wife started
Right.
watching. What's that one? It's got the Dancing with Wolves star Yellowstone. She's watching Yellowstone. She started
Yellowstone.
without me. I
Okay.
could have sworn I told her I wanted to watch it, and she started watching without me. So I started pulling up the divorce paperwork, but no, I'll hold off on that.
Hold off on it. Catch up
Yeah.
now. Gen 5 is number 4. So it's a
Nope,
spinoff
not
from The
Gen 5,
Boys.
Gen V.
Is it
Compound
called
V.
Gen V?
Gen V. Oh,
Okay.
have you not watched, not
I
gotten into that?
I have not watched The Boys. I don't have Amazon Prime.
Have
So
you,
I know what it is. I
you
know the
guys don't
premise of it.
have Amazon in general?
No, I
Why
don't have
not?
Amazon Prime. Yeah.
That's like the best thing you could have. Oh, I need something I don't need right now. Cool. 2 days later, it shows up my door.
Uh See, the thing
Plus,
is,
you get Amazon Prime and Amazon Music, but I don't care about Music.
everything I want is electronic wise.
Hmm.
Amazon, yes, has it cheaper,
Hmm.
but then I just go to Best Buy and be like, hey, can you price match this? They're like, oh yeah, for sure. Thank you. So
Yeah.
instant gratification.
I would get,
But
because you need Amazon for two shows. You need The Boys and you need Invincible.
I heard a lot of good things about Invincible.
Those are
Um,
great shows. They are, I mean, honestly, I feel like they're the most realistic superhero shows because it's like,
yeah.
okay, cool, we have superheroes. Obviously, not very realistic, but the fact is like humanity sucks. So if you give your average human superpowers, there's going to be some fucked up stuff going on, and they're going to do some weird stuff, and sometimes some evil
Yeah.
stuff. I would, I will figure out what my login info, and I will make sure you have it available for you to watch. It is
I
that
want to
good.
watch it because I know Omni Man and Omni Man's in the new Mortal Kombat
Which is,
One.
I saw that. I kind of Omni
So
Man and somebody and Homelander.
Homelander's in it too. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
the
I've
two
been meaning to
sickest
look up.
bastards are in that.
What's up?
The two sickest bastards.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
know they're terrible human. Well, not human. Well, no. Homelander's a human being. Omni
I
Man is
know.
not
Yeah.
human.
So after number
Oh, by the way,
5, you're
I'm on episode 3 of Gen V, by the way. But all right,
okay.
continue.
Episode 5 is The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon.
I didn't realize that existed until I saw a random YouTube short, and I'm like, I'd be interested. I just stopped watching the show so long ago.
So and then The Continental from the world of John Wick.
That's another show I've been meaning to start watching.
I do want to watch that. I mean, I still watch John Wick 4, but I do want to watch The Continental. That's on Peacock. And
Yep,
then Twisted Metal
another
is
great one.
also. Did you see that?
Oh yeah,
I
it's
heard it's
Peacock.
really
Yeah,
good.
it's
Uh,
fantastic. Will Arnett is the voice of Sweet Tooth.
I heard
It
that.
it just I think whoever does the acting versus the voice, versus Will Arnett, because obviously Will Arnett is not some big huge buff guy.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, no, it's good. It's over the top. So honestly, I would say it's like, so going back to your guys' last episode, I was watching that. You're talking about, oh man, some of these shows are just dog shit. You start watching them and just a big garbage, and then you take a few episodes to get into it. Like I was into the show, but a lot of these shows, it's like, are the shows over the top and weird? Like a lot of animes and stuff. Yeah, it's over the top and weird, but it's just the art style of it. Give it a couple episodes, figure out what story they're trying to tell. Now, granted, like One Piece, they could probably. I think there's a website out there where they literally condense all the One Piece episodes. get rid of all the filler, kind of like even Dragon Ball Z, same thing. They take out all
Hmm.
the extra crap,
They have that, yeah.
and it's
I-
just story. But going back to the point though is, is it's a little weird watching it, but as soon as you understand what what the mood is of the show, then it's a lot easier to get into the show and watch all of it. But it's a weird
right.
one, but it's good.
I played the games. It's
Yeah.
less than, but yeah. Um, then Justified City Primeval. So I don't know. And then Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake.
You still
Adventure
haven't heard
Time is
of
a
it.
cool show,
I loved
but
Adventure Time. I didn't
they
realize they
made
were
a
coming out with new
spin-off.
stuff. Okay.
So it's the Ice King's his human form, Simon. It's kind of based off of that. It's like his
Huh.
it's based off the stories he's written. So
Okay.
that's all I know about it. And then Special Ops Lioness. Don't know anything about that.
Never heard of it.
So,
I thought these were supposed to be, great
but
shows.
they also announced What If for Marvel season 2.
That's gonna be dope.
So, I liked What If. I thought it was pretty good.
I think
So,
it's one of their better things they've released
mhm.
in recently, at least.
And then Sony is releasing Madam Web. So, we watched the trailer for that.
Yep, I watched the trailer of that. Did I see that on Twitter because it'll never be X. Yeah, it was either Twitter or I saw it on YouTube, one of the two. But no, it looked interesting.
It did.
Um, you've got
I
people
don't know
like
how
the
they're going
critical
to do that.
drinker, like, oh, just a bunch of girls that get. It's like it doesn't matter if there's a bunch of girls in it, just whether or not like did they do the story the right way. We'll
Right,
see.
right. Because Madam Web plays a big part in Spider-Man's life. She's the one who pushes him in the right direction towards Secret Wars.
Hmm.
So and she kind of sees everything that goes on in the multiverse.
Yeah.
So she's a significant part in Spider-Man's life. It's not just Peter Parker; it's all of them.
Hmm.
So, so I guess all the Spider-Man are tied through a web. So,
So I'm wondering because obviously Marvel hasn't exactly been getting the best reviews recently. So I'm hoping the fact that Sony's doing it and not Disney can be a flop. I mean, I
well,
enjoyed the past couple Spider-Man movies, so
Sony doesn't have the best reputation with that stuff either because Venom, you know, it's a probably an unpopular opinion. I thought both Venom movies were hot trash.
really,
It would just, yeah, I hated them personally.
I'm not that big of a comic book nerd in the first place. So it's not like I could understand. It's like taking Luke Skywalker, the most optimistic, hopeful person in the universe, and then turning him into you know, some hermit who has absolutely no motivation for anything. So, I could understand if you're familiar with the character how you might be able to be upset with the show, but based on watching the show and only knowing basic things about Venom over, random YouTube videos and playing the old Spider-Man games, like I liked it. I thought it was fun. The biggest thing it was entertaining. If nothing else,
I
they were
didn't like the
entertaining.
bromance,
You
and
didn't?
then no, and then you introduce Woody Harrison.
Mhm.
Woody Harrison is horrible. I personally hate him, but he's done a few good things.
Yeah.
But like Zombieland. But other than that, he's just not that great of an actor.
I feel like he's a typecast.
So, and he should have never been in Star Wars, but here he is. So he did decent as Hey Mitch, in Hunger Games,
Yeah.
but you know he's a drunk. That's what he plays. He's good at.
Yeah. Like I
So,
said, he typecast.
hmm so, but anywho, hey, do you ever feel tired at
Yeah.
night?
Honestly, like, the fact that we're doing this at, past 10 o'clock, like some of us have to work for a living, Surge. I'd
Well,
so be ready to go to bed right now. I'd love to have
you
some
could
energy right
use,
now.
yeah, you could use our energy drink Dubby. So it gives you all the energy without the crash and jitters. Cool thing about it is it's coffee based. So it's a fruit extracted coffee based. So it comes in the powder. Um, Real good. I have one that's called Calio Cream. Tastes good. like it. Super easy to mix. So hey, you know, if you're wanting that kind of energy drink, just use promo code Surge, and you get 10% off your next order. So it really go take advantage of it. So I enjoy it. But now let's move on to the actual subject at hand. So last week we kind of discussed a little bit about game of the year, possible games that could be game of the year, but there wasn't anything for a fact that was there. But they announced the game of the year nominees along with a bunch of other categories. So we're gonna really go into those 2023 nominees and see what we think. Let's just start with the first one. I mean, game of the year. Okay. Um, so they have Alan Wake 2. Uh, I can't really speak for that one. I know what it is. I never played the first one, but Alan Wake 2 has gotten real good reviews. People like it.
Alan
Um,
Wake, that's a PlayStation exclusive.
it used to be an Xbox exclusive, but now it should be
Um,
across the board.
okay, yeah, that's one
So
I haven't gotten into at any point in time.
so the other one, Boulder's Gate 3.
Just started playing that.
So now I can see why that I haven't. It's on my list to buy. I haven't. I'm debating on that whether I should buy it or not. Now I can see honestly, I can see why this one's game of the year. As far as what you can do versatility wise,
Hmm.
is unreal. You want to
It
have
is
sex with bears?
playing D&D, like plain and simple. It's
Yeah,
it's playing D&D.
you can have sex with bears. Did you hear
Haven't gotten
about
that
that?
far yet. Yeah.
So, but like the way everyone's playing the game is different. Like you can have five, you can start five characters, and every character will be different. Which, as far as versatility wise and story wise, graphics wise, everything, it's a big game of the year contender because it's like an open sandbox.
Hmm.
Personally, and that's I think that's what makes a good game. Good story, you know, open sandbox aspect. I can go anywhere I want, do whatever I want, and that's what Boulder Gates offers. So I never played it, but I can tell you that's gonna be a huge contender for game of the year, right?
I I think it. I mean, okay, we'll continue to go on and everything, but I could understand how it could be. I've never been. I My biggest complaint is it's a click to move game, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
League of Legends. I've never been a huge fan
Oh
of
yeah.
the click to move games. So just it's such a first world problem, to have that as a complaint of the game. But otherwise, I just yeah, no, I've gotten off the first ship. I guess because there's some kind of weird monster ship that you're on, and then I am exploring this little beach area, and then I'm like, hey, I'm going to shoot this little doodad up here to make it fall through the ground so I could open up a hole. I didn't realize I should have moved my entire party. So now I've got two people who are down, and I've got a bunch of enemies that are running after me, and I'm like, I'm too tired, and it's too late for me to move on right now. So I'm just going to close out of the game. I'll deal with this issue next time I hop on. But otherwise, it's been great so far. Graphics great. I've got everything cranked up to max with my PC. Yeah, it's beautiful and it's fun thus far.
So the next one, Marvel Spider-Man 2. Oh boy.
I
Uh,
wish I had a
Go first.
PlayStation specifically because I've seen the Spider-Man game. The past couple Spider-Man games, including Spider-Man 2. They're beautiful. The My nephews have the last Spider-Man game. Controls are great. I liked it. I'm not going to be able to play it anytime soon because I ain't got no money.
Well, before I get my take on this, Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales should be on PC.
Oh,
So that's a thing. So Spider-Man 2 is not yet. So
okay.
I spent this weekend playing Spider-Man 2.
Hmm.
Um and I'm not a big fan. As far as like game, like you said, the controls, graphics, all that, yeah, it really is top notch. It's good. Story wise, I feel like it's just very basic. It's not anything extravagant. It feels like just a typical. I'm not gonna really spoil anything, but it's just like a typical Spider-Man type story, you know. Um, and then I feel like this game took a step back on as far as like uh combat. So in the past, in the first Spider-Man game, whenever you buy suits, get different like costumes for your Spider-Man, those costumes had different powers. So every Spider-Man costume had a different power. Now these Spider-Man costumes are very cosmetic.
Hmm.
So they're just cosmetic. I mean, okay, cool. I do want to look cooler, but I remember donning an ugly costume on the in the first Spider-Man because I had a great power, a great ultimate. You're like, yeah, this is the best ultimate. I'll look stupid. You know, I'll just look like a shitty Spider-Man, whatever. Um, but now it's just all cosmetic. The other thing too is you kind of switch between Peter and Miles,
Mhm.
and like honestly, when you he's got better AOE, he's better crowd control, he's just better overall. Then you got Peter, you know, they try to do something they try to give him something different, but he just doesn't work. Now, he's got a secondary tree which has the symbiote stuff that he gets,
Oh,
but you only have it for a little bit, like a few chapters, and you know it's just, and then after that you go back to boring Peter. Um, so I just didn't. I don't feel like it's game of the year contender. But I'm obviously I don't work for the Game Awards, but just based on those few things, it's that, and not only that, but it's just like an extension of what you've already played. Um, so it's not like you're getting a brand new game with brand new mechanics. No, it's still the same thing. They kind of took what they got from Miles Morales, expanded on it, and improved a little bit. Um, as far as like uh, combat, I guess. But I just feel like in the previous two entries, the gadgets and the combat was a lot better. Um, so because I remember the first Spider-Man, I can like throw this little thing and I can trap multiple people in webs. Now I can't do that. Like I said, it's a pretty unpopular opinion. Um, I mean, I'm on the final part of the game. I have like 6 missions left. I'll probably finish it next weekend.
okay.
Um, but I don't know. That's just my opinion on that.
I feel
So
like, I mean, regardless, it's probably one of those games. If I ended up starting to play through the Spider-Man games, if I'm able to get them, because is that one of those things that like probably can't find them on Steam, so I'll probably have to get like PlayStation Game Pass or whatever their equivalent is to be able
no,
to play.
I don't know if it's on Steam. I know it's on Epic Games though.
Okay, yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's I like Epic Games that has it for sure. So, the next game, Resident Evil 4. Okay, Resident Evil 4 is great, but
Original or the remake?
just in general, I mean, I never played the remake. I played the original. I thought it was a good game. I never finished it, but I liked it. I just don't. My personal opinion. I Granted, I never made this list before because the Game Awards didn't start to 2014.
Hmm.
And the first game of the year was Dragon Age Inquisition.
Wow.
I don't know if you played that.
No, I did.
That
I played a little bit. I've only played one of. I forgot. There's Dragon Age Inquisition, and then there was one before it, right? Technically,
uh
there's two before it, but there was one
yeah
before it that was at least the same gameplay type or whatever. I
yeah
started playing that one. I think I either rented it or I borrowed it, and I got to a point where I made a bunch of bad decisions, so I kind of got stuck where I was, and I didn't have a bunch of like previous save files. So
right
I'm like, I'm stuck. I wasn't super. I mean, it was a fun game, but I wasn't super into the game. Like honestly, I was more into the other Bioware games, like Mass Effect.
right.
But I
Well,
mean,
Mass Effect is good, but
yeah,
that's a different story altogether.
yeah.
I just don't think Resident Evil 4 should be in this list because it's a remake. Um, I think Game of the Year stuff should be original games, not remakes.
Yeah, new revolutionary. Yeah.
but I can see why it's on there. I mean,
Because
it
technically
was a
you
good
could
game.
probably say, what's that game? Elder Scrolls. What's the? Oh my God, not
Skyrim.
Morrowind. Skyrim. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah, because that's released like 500 times.
Yeah,
So
released 500 times. Yeah, that could have been game of the year. For the past, what the game's been out for 10, 11 years now.
yeah. So Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Okay, um I had recently played this game and beat it. I did have a lot of fun on it. Once again, I might have another unpopular opinion. I just don't think Super Mario Wonder should be a Game of the Year contender. It just doesn't have it doesn't have the same things. I can't speak about Alan Wake 2 or Resident Evil 4, but as far as like compared to Spider-Man 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, Mario doesn't have a story. It lacks a story. It's just gameplay. Um, and then this one here, I thought it was a weak entry. I had fun. Don't get me wrong. You don't play Mario because it's a game of the year. You play because it hits the nostalgia
Hmm.
aspects, and it's just fun to play.
Yeah, I've never
Um,
gotten the Mario makers on the Switch just because it's like I feel like I could just play Mario, and call it
yeah,
good. I think I am going to see about picking that up for the kids for Christmas. Because let's face it, most of the games I buy are for the kids. Well, let's face it, it's for me. I'm just hoping the kids might actually start playing it, but nope, nope, nobody plays games.
I won't go into depth about Mario Wonder. Um, if you want to know my opinion on it,
Hmm.
segue. Go to check out my review on it. I have it up on my blog. Surges like with an S and then S at the end. Gaming reviews. And I wrote an extensive review on it on what I thought of the game. I reviewed on the gameplay, the story, but I wrote a section of story because there's always a little segment, but it's not really in depth story.
Should make sure to put that
Uh,
down in the description below your blog.
I should. I will. That's a good idea. Um, so I reviewed the gameplay and multiplayer and online, and so I will tell you I personally give it a 7 out of 10.
Hmm.
IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, but I disagree and I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, great
I just
game,
don't
but
think
it's lacking the replayability and everything like that. You think?
right. I have no interest in going back to play. It's just you know I, most Mario games I can't collect everything the first playthrough. Um, I collected every Wonder Flower, just about every playthrough because it's just I want to see what the effects are.
Yeah.
So, and then the next game, Tears of the Kingdom, The Legend
Game.
of Zelda: Tears of the
Okay,
Kingdom.
to be fair, if that one doesn't, it's got to be either that or Boulder's Gate. If it's not one of those
Mm,
two, obviously it's whoever pays them the
yeah.
most money.
Um. You can't have sex with bears in Tears of the Kingdom. I find that hilarious. But Tears of the Kingdom, you can have a fire pissing robot. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the logs and the boards and just the big log out front with the fire.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can share my screen. Right there. For those watching the video, this is it. The fire pissing robot. All right. That that's just legendary. So yeah. Yeah. There you
Biggest
go.
gripe though, biggest gripe, no DLC.
Yeah, I was highly disappointed. I was gonna go back and play, but then I found that out. It just crushed all my dreams. But
So the
I
Go ahead.
played I put like 200 hours in that game.
Oh yeah, easily.
So I was to the point where literally I was a god. I feel like I could do anything.
Yeah,
Um, it was a fantastic game, and you're right. It's the fact that there's no DLC means one or two things for me. One, they're planning something big for Zelda.
hmm,
So, um, or two, they're just done with this game.
yeah,
They didn't care
because
about it.
because I ended
But
up I played through the game, I beat it, in terms of all the shrines. I got a good portion of the pictures done. I got all that stuff. And then I went back and started playing Breath of the Wild because there was some mishap with storage and everything. So I pretty much wiped my entire Switch. So all my save data didn't come over. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back through. I'm going to beat Breath of the Wild so so whenever the DLC comes out, I can go ahead and start from fresh, get everything, just the horses and the. God,
Hmm.
I'm so sad that they didn't bring the bike back. I mean, obviously you could make your own bike, but the master
Yeah, you,
the master
yeah,
bike or the master cycle was dope. But so yeah, I went back to play and I was like halfway done. No, I'm probably no, I've got the master cycle now. So now I'm just trying to finish up my last few shrines and then to go beat the game. So I'm at that point that I found out no DLC. I'm like, fuck this. And they're like, okay, I'm just done playing Zelda right now.
yeah. It was very disappointing on that. Um, After putting so much time into that game, I was really hoping to dive back into it because really, yeah, I can go and defeat every monster and get the badge for defeating every monster.
Hmm.
But I find that boring. I've explored the entire underground and anything like that.
Yep.
Um, I think my biggest gripe with this game, um, I felt the shrines uh, were were broken. They were nowhere near as difficult as Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild had some difficult shrines that I had to look up a few. This one right here, really, all I had to do was like, oh, cool. There's a block. I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm just gonna make an elevator. And I just made an elevator and just got to the top. And like,
Yeah, bring
so
in some rocket shields. Like that's it. You're done.
yeah, you put a rocket shield, I can rocket across the whole thing. Um, so I just don't feel. I feel like the sandbox aspect of it was extremely overpowered.
Oh yeah.
Um, so just what you can do. I but anywho, it was still a great game though. I still loved it. This is my personal game of the year, and it is my personal game of the year of 2023.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing has come close to it. Nothing has really kept my interest
I think if
for
you've
as
gotten
long
into
as.
Boulder's Gate, I mean, granted, I'm only just a few hours in. I could see a Boulder's Gate might be a contender, but I would still say that regardless. Now, granted, it's probably just nostalgia. If you hate the Zelda games, you'd probably feel completely different. But if you hate the games, you're wrong. So there's that.
Yeah, that's very true. Zelda is just, if Ray was here, he would probably be like, "Yeah, I hate Zelda." I'd be like, "Get the fuck off my podcast."
Yeah, right.
So, but no, Zelda is just one of those things. So, we're running short on time, but we can hit a few categories here. Let's see. Let's go with best narrative on that. Um, because that's something that's important to me. Best narrative. So I can't speak on Alan Wake 2. I don't know Baldur's Gate 3 as well. It's same thing with Cyberpunk, but I can speak on Final Fantasy 16 and and Spider-Man 2. A lot of people do say Final Fantasy 16 had a good story. Okay, and probably another unpopular opinion. And I can have these unpopular opinions because I've beaten over 800 games, so I know what I like, right?
Yeah,
Um, I felt the story in this was very basic, but yet convoluted for no reason. Um, Sometimes it just transitions to something. You're like, okay, what just happened? Let me read the recap because I just lost what happened.
hmm
Um, Now the game itself is beautiful. Um, it is a gorgeous game. I don't, and but I overall I think it was a very weak Final Fantasy entry. Um, they could have done better. So, Spider-Man 2, I I don't think the narrative is that great. It's just a very basic Spider-Man story. Really think between these two will probably be between Alan Wake 2 or Baldur's Gate 3.
yeah.
So, because Baldur's Gate 3, the narrative changes, which is unique. So, and I can't speak on Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate's the only one. I mean, I wanted to get into Cyberpunk, but God, it was so glitchy at the beginning. So I'm like, I'm just not going to worry about buying it. And then by the time like
Right.
they fixed everything, I just was not interested.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2.0 is out, so it should have fixed everything. So, but who knows?
Yeah.
So, let's see here. It's another good category. Uh, let's go with best mobile game. I'm just curious. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. No, never played it. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I've seen it, but no. Uh, Honkai Star Rail. They advertised that game a lot. Um, Monster Hunter Now, Terra Nil. I've never played any of these games, so
I
I
mean, I
have no
play
opinion.
games on my phone, but all the games I play are more like indie. It's like actually the one game I still play pretty religiously is Super Auto Pets. Have you gotten down on that yet?
I have not.
It's it's literally a card game. Well, I say literally a card game. I guess that's not accurate because it's not literally a card, but it's pretty much like so you have this animal, and this animal has set ability. It
Hmm.
has like 2 health, 3 attack. If you so like one of my favorite ones to use is the hippo. So the hippo, if it kills an enemy, it gets +2 attack, +2 health, and then if it's level 2, it's 4 health, 4 attack, and then it's like 6 attack, 6 health on like level 3 or something. It's a free game. Just whatever, whenever you get a second, just download it to your phone, screw around with it for a few minutes, or you download it on Steam. It's just the most mindless game. It's a nice time killer game. So
What
let's
game
say
was
I'm
this again?
Super Auto Pets. So I'm just sitting on my
Super
butt,
Auto Pets.
Super
Okay.
Auto Pets. So I can sit on my butt doing my thing. Wife's like, "Hey, can you get something out of the cabinet because I'm super short?" Cool. I could just put my phone down and not come back to it until later, like when I'm going to bed or something. And it's whatever. It's a good time killer game, if nothing else. But it's also super fun. So
I
I
mean,
would
if we're
say
gonna,
check it out.
as far as mobile games, if we're talking about mobile games, Marvel Snap. It's like a card-based game. It's really simple. It's also a mind thing. That's been my game.
Hmm.
I haven't played much in like a couple of months because I got shit on a lot and I just got tired of being shit on, so I just moved on for just taking a break.
Yeah.
But it is a TCG type game. Not trading card game exactly. You have to earn your cards, stuff like that. But you can
Hmm.
buy cards with gold, but um, you don't have to be pay to win. I've gotten pretty far in the ranks without pay to win. You can get to rank level 100. I've been to rank 85, and I'm not pay to win. So,
You know what mobile game I really miss?
hmm.
Star Wars. Back when we worked at Sprint Radio Shack, we had everybody playing.
Oh man, I still have it on my phone.
I have it on my
Um,
phone. I kind of go back to it every once in a while just to see what other new characters and stuff are out there. And like, man, like
me
we
too.
we were rolling on that game. Like we were unlocking everything. Like I remember I was like one
Yeah,
of the top ranked players whenever the ships came out because I played so much of it. And then
I still have the our group me. It's still on my
oh,
phone.
I forgot about that. I need to download GroupMe just so I could log in and see that.
Dude, it was great. I still kept it, and I just every so often I hope someone's like, "Let's play again." I'm like, "Fuck yes, let's
And for
go."
those who are watching, it's what was it? Star Wars,
uh, I can't remember what it's called now. Wasn't it Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Galaxy Heroes. That's it. Yeah.
So, but anywho, let's move on to best action game. I can't really speak on Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. I do want to play that. I liked Armored Core since PlayStation era. Dude, it's
Which
just
one was
giant
this again?
mechs. Huh?
Which one was this
Best
again?
action
Best
game.
action. Sorry, I'm scrolling.
Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, don't know anything. Hi Fi Rush. Uh, I did play that because I got 9 out of 10 from IGN, so I was like, oh, it's got to be a good game.
Okay.
I can see it for being good for a certain person, but it's very tempo based combat, and I'm like, no, I don't
What do you
do
mean
that.
temple based?
So your character has like a radio inside of him,
Hmm.
and he's just like, and you just gotta attack to the
Oh, yeah,
tempo.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
You heard of it?
I've got the Zelda one. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I hate playing it by myself just because it's actually kind of a hard game. Like I do pretty good at having a being able to keep a downbeat and everything, but the game's a little tough. So usually I only play it if I've got like a buddy over or something. We're looking for something to do.
Oh, here we go. Here's something more I can speak on. Best action adventure game.
Well, real quick, I want to go back. Did you ever play the original Dead Island game on Xbox 360? No.
I did not. I heard Dead Island 2 is really good. But I never played it.
Dead Island
So
was fun. Like I played the game, I beat it on Xbox 360. I think it was a good, solid game. I forgot how it ended, but yeah, no, it's just like you go around, you're able to craft your own weapons and everything. It wasn't super advanced, where you could literally create anything, but it's like, oh, go around and grab these, couple items, and then now I've got a like an axe with a saw blade on it or something,
hmm
but that's a game I would, if I had the opportunity to go play it again, I probably would. But yeah.
I feel like Dead Island 2 would be good to play with other people, but I
Yeah,
don't really have a whole lot of people that I play with anymore
every
these
game
days.
that I like, my friends hate. So I don't really get a whole lot of games. I mean, of course, there are certain games, but like that everybody, like Halo is one of those games where everybody except for you, loves, so
Right.
everybody's got it. Dead Island was one of those games where only I had it, so everybody else is like, well, I've never even heard of that game. It's like, dude, I've been playing the crap out of it.
Right. So best action adventure game, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Honestly, between these, I mean, I can't. Jedi Survivor is on my list to play because I thought Jedi Fallen Order was
Top
good.
notch, top notch.
I
I
liked it a
would
lot,
like
but
to get the game, but I'm not, because EA. We could all complain about EA all day long.
oh yeah,
But the fact that they didn't release a finished game was, sorry, I was fixing my sock. So they didn't release a completed game, and they not only did they release it, they released it at $70, and
yeah.
I want to buy the
Oh,
game so bad. Like, I think between lore, gameplay, just story, it was a great. The first one was a great
it's like
game.
I even prepped for it. I read the book that takes place before this game.
I do need to
Um,
get that book.
Battle Scars. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Um, so I read that book and then it was like $70. I'm like, no, because I thought
No,
it was gonna be Game Pass like Fallen Order is, but
hmm
I guess not. Um,
I'm still
I
upset that I
for
spent $70 on Tears of the Kingdom, but that's one of those games. Like, like, yeah, they had a bunch
I
of
spent $20 on
glitches.
mine.
I think they had a lot of glitches. They didn't have a whole lot of bugs.
No,
On Tears of the Kingdom.
I spent $20 on Tears of the Kingdom.
Fuck you.
Huh?
I spent full price.
They had a trade-in special. Did you not take advantage of that?
No, I just went
GameStop
to.
had like you trade in any of these two games and you can get it for free. I traded in both my Spider-Man games and I got it for I got it for like $20. So I'm like, it's
Yeah,
worth
I
it.
sold something. I think I sold something on Marketplace or something. Oh, we sold a kitchen table that we
Mm.
weren't using anymore, that we had at the apartment, and so we sold that. We had some money. I'm like, hey babe, now that we have this cash, and Johnny keeps bugging you about, I need to play this game so we could talk about it. I'm like, let's just go buy it. So I just literally went to Walmart. I picked up a cartridge and started playing it that night.
Hmm. Then you almost lost a wife. I'm kidding.
Yeah. No.
I have two copies of the game though. That's funny because I have a copy for me and a copy for my wife because. So
That's the reason. Well, yeah, she plays games. My wife
yeah,
does not. She watches me play games.
yeah, that's still cool though.
Yeah, no, it's that's one thing. I love my PC. I hate that. Like, so we're in my basement right now, and I've got a nice 55-inch plasma TV hooked up to their computer, so they could watch movies or whatever. They hate coming downstairs. The kids hate coming downstairs. So because the kids
Hmm.
hate coming downstairs, we're always upstairs. But don't get me wrong, upstairs is nice and comfortable. But like, I would like for them to be able to like hang out, watch movies, or play games over there, so that I don't feel like I'm abandoning the family like down here.
Right.
Um, so usually I only get my Fridays, Friday during the days or Saturday late at night and everything when we don't have the kids to play games. That's why I only get to play a couple games. I only get to complete a few games a year.
But best action adventure game still goes to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
You
Tears
can't
of the Kingdom.
you
Really
can't
well.
touch it. So let's see here. What's another
When they drop the price of Jedi Survivor, I'll buy it.
best RPG? Let's see. Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy 16, Liza P, Sea of Stars, Starfield. I've played every single game on that list except for Baldur's Gate 3. So take your pick. Um, let's go with unpopular opinion because Starfield was horrible.
Starfield is fun, but I started playing that too. I've only gotten to a couple planets so far. It's
Look,
fun. I mean, I like the gameplay.
the gameplay is fine, but the planets are so vast and empty. I played the game for 25 hours and I was bored.
Yeah,
So
I know.
they say, oh, you got to play for at least 50 hours and it gets better. I'm like, I'm not playing a game for 50 hours for it to get better.
Well, see, the thing is, was my
I'll
buddy.
play
He's been
5 hours.
for 50 to 100 hours, and his biggest complaint is it's the same thing over and over again. It's really hard to beat the game. It's just like because call back to the last episode for Skyrim. I've never actually beaten Skyrim. I've
Yeah,
played a lot of Skyrim, but between updates and my mod files getting corrupted and forgetting which mods I had in the first place, I'm like I just haven't beaten it. Played a crap ton of it. I love the game, but it's just like when there's so much to do, like you have to have a little bit more linear design, I think, to your game than what they're offering. But that's my opinion.
yeah. Um, Sea of Stars. I got a little bored. I'll probably go back and play on a little bit. But Sea of Stars is one of those. It's an indie game. It, it kind of pays homage to. It reminds me a lot of Chrono Trigger. I don't
Okay,
know if you ever played Chrono Trigger back on the Super Nintendo.
I haven't played it, but I'm
Um,
familiar with it.
Definitely one of my favorite games of all time. But Sea of Stars has that type thing, and it's got elements from like Mario RPG as well. It does the timed attacks. Story is very lackluster though. It's a little boring, but it's just your typical game like that. Character design, graphics, cartoony animation, but it's really cool. It is like Super Nintendo. It's pretty awesome. I will have to admit, I like it a lot. I'm like on chapter 6. If you don't like Dark Souls games though, don't play it because it's brutal. Um, I mean, I did find a weapon combination, and I've been blowing through bosses.
There's some other games I want to get
So
into, or the Dark Souls. I mean, because let's face it, the Jedi Survivor game, Fallen Order, those are, you know, um,
yeah, and then
but
you
they're
probably heard about.
I understand that they're a lot easier than the Dark Souls games, but
Yeah,
I've gotten a taste for it. I like it.
I played Jedi Survivor on hard, or not Survivor. Jedi Fallen Order on hard.
Hmm.
um, I don't know if it was stupid or what, but
Oh, your
you
first
know,
gameplay
yeah.
was hard. Okay,
I
yeah,
play,
that's dumb. See, I got to get the story first. I got to just
I,
go through. I just want to. I want to know what happened, especially for Star
I
Wars,
don't care about that anymore.
because
Honestly,
I'm very interested in seeing how. I mean, because let's face it, they could easily bring Kestis in as an
yeah.
actual action character.
I already talked about Final Fantasy 16, but really between these two, I mean Baldur's Gate 3 or Liza P. I mean Liza P. You once again you can't have sex with bears, but you know you do kill a bunch of robots and it's brutal.
I would
So
say, just based on looking at it again, I would think I think Baldur's Gate's going to get it.
yeah,
Based on I know people love their Final Fantasies and stuff, but I don't hear as much chatter about Final Fantasy as I have um, Baldur's Gate, or
let's
really any of these other ones.
let's do two more categories. So let's go best family game. Um, I can speak on most of these. You already heard about Super Mario Wonder, which I honestly think when you're putting Super Mario Wonder in best family game, That's it right there.
Yeah.
That's it. Sonic Superstars. I don't know how I feel about it. It's it's. I feel like it's a ripoff of Mario. So it's Sonic, like your typical Sonic game. You run through the levels, right?
Hmm.
Except now you can have four players at the same time on the same screen.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have to check it out. Pikmin 4, that could be another good contender. I haven't played part 4 yet, but Pikmin 3, I liked Pikmin 3 a lot.
I played a little Pikmin
Um,
3 with my nephews. They've got the game, and it was fun. I like the Pikmin series.
yeah, Party Animals, I played a little bit of it. Have you ever played Gang Beasts?
No.
Oh, okay. It's kind of it's kind of like Gang Beasts. You're like these animals, and you're just like you're fighting in this like little arena, and you're just beating the crap out of each other. You can like throw your opponents on subways and stuff like that. It's
Okay.
pretty cool. Disney Illusion Island. It looks cool. It's just I just don't like this new style of Mickey. I don't know why this animation of Mickey is a big thing now. I think it's stupid, but it's just a four-player game where you have to play cooperative with each other. So you get through the levels. Every character has its own unique power. So yeah, it looks cool.
Interesting.
I think it will be fun to play with kids. You know, if you want something to play with your kids, I think it'll be a good one. Either between that one or Mario Wonder would be good game for families, honestly. So
Yeah, I
that's
feel
just
like
my opinion.
the just looking at the screenshots right now, like I don't think my kids would be very interested. I think if I was their age, because I mean, let's face it, my kids don't. I mean, they know who Mickey is, but they don't know or really care about Mickey. Just because I mean, again, everything they watch is YouTube anyway.
Right.
Um, yeah, like that's one. I need them to complete games, which Evans at least almost completed. Um, Pokemon Shield.
That was a
So,
good one.
yeah, but he plays more video games than the other two do. Um, but like I think if but they haven't even really completed a whole lot of shows either. So I need to. God, it's one of those things. Like, come on, be more nerdy kids. Like, don't get me wrong, we always have them outside playing, riding bikes, scooters, kicking the soccer ball around. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's great. I'm very happy that they're outside. But at the same time, it's like I need them to be nerds, so when they get older, I've got people to nerd out with because I don't have enough time for friends.
Yeah. Thankfully, my kids they do like nerd stuff. Like if you, especially my oldest, we've been he was watching me play Spider Man. He enjoyed the fights and stuff like that I did. And the other day, I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and he came in. And last episode, I don't know if you watched or not, was legendary. But he saw that fight, um, and after that episode, he was like, "Dad," I was like, "What?" He's like, "That fight was next level." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, son."
Yeah,
so, so let's go with multiplayer games since we, um, I I heard Baldur's Gate 3 has a good multiplayer.
hmm
Um, But the rest of these, I disagree. Every single one. I mean, Street Fighter 6 is just a fighting game. Of course, but I disagree with every single one of these games. I
I
don't think the multiplayer is that great on Mario Wonder either.
really. So I haven't played Diablo, but I've played previous Diablos. Like, so you don't even think four is good for multiplayer?
The problem with my personal opinion, and it's probably a hot take,
Mhm.
the multiplayer of Diablo, unless you're playing with somebody that's gonna keep up with you and stay consistent, um, then it'll be fun. However, there's always that person that you play with that has more time than you,
Yeah.
right? I played Diablo 3 for like 2 nights and got bored because I started off, I did the game regularly. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm chapter 3. Then my buddy's like, hey, you should play with us. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, hey, my buddy's gonna, he's gonna run us through some stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I found out his buddy was Paragon level 80, 840. So by the time I finished the game, I finished that night, I was Paragon level 500 and something. And
Jeez.
then I'm like, Okay, I didn't do anything. He just ran me through shit.
Hmm.
I got lots of cool, random, shitty loot, whatever. Now I'm bored. He just took the fun out of it. So that's how I feel about Diablo. It's just unless you're playing with somebody consistently, it's gonna be boring because
Yeah.
you just have I don't know. It's just and Diablo 4 didn't get that great reviews anyway, so I don't really hear much people talk about it or play it any. Or maybe it's just not.
I
Maybe
feel
it's
like
just my circle of
three was
friends.
their pinnacle, like
Yeah.
greatest game ever. Three, and then everything after that, it's like,
So,
how much more can you really do?
but let's see
Now, real
here.
quick, just like so, one of these was best racing game, and I got down on Forza 3 so hard. I bought so many DLC packs, got so many cars, played the crap out of it. I didn't really like the next Forza game after 3. It was like Forza Horizons, just because
Oh
everything
yeah,
was
yeah.
like the road racing stuff versus like the actual tracks.
So on this right here, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2,
Hmm.
I did play the Hot Wheels game. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Not Unleashed 2, but the first Unleashed. It was pretty good.
I forgot which one I played semi recently. It was okay. The thing is, though, is like I kind of like my racing sims. Like I like to actually have, you know, if I put too much gas, like I'm going to spin out, and making sure I hit those best lines and everything. I do appreciate a good racing sim.
There's just so many good categories. Sorry, so we keep saying last, but there's just Game Awards is just a lot to talk about. So if this
Yeah.
episode's a little bit longer, I do apologize. But the Game Awards are just so fascinating. Just they started in 2014, so it's been a bit of a passion of mine to follow it. I want to look at the most anticipated game category, and that's for next year. There's really two games on this list that really I'm really anticipating. Number one, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I can't wait for that game. The Final Fantasy VII. Granted, it's not my favorite Final Fantasy in the series.
Hmm.
But if you're comparing, I mean, it depends. If you're comparing from when they originally came out, not the remake, um, I would put it like probably number two or number three. My first favorite was Final Fantasy VI. So that was probably my favorite Final Fantasy.
Okay.
And two, again, for seven, it'll go between two or four or seven. It just varies. However, Final Fantasy VII Remake has has been or is, in my opinion, the greatest Final Fantasy of this generation.
Okay.
Um, I love now as far as story wise, seven does have the best story.
Hmm.
Over, it's kind of a toss up between six and seven for me. Um, but remake just took that same story they did and expanded it. Even more. I mean, if you haven't played Final Fantasy Seven at this point, I'm very sorry. So there will be some spoilers.
That's me.
But
I've never. My biggest issue is when anytime. So my cousin was the one who had the PlayStation, at least at the time. And when he had it, and I was, Final Fantasy VII was out, like I could barely read. Like, I didn't want to sit there and read all the things because I could barely read the screen anyway. So I never dealt
right,
with it. So I mean, and then when I did start being able to buy my own games, I didn't have a PlayStation. I had an Xbox, so I just never continued, the Final Fantasy thing. But sorry, continue.
so like the Final Fantasy Seven, when you play that, the main town you're in, which is always on the cover, Midgar, it takes you like 8 hours to get out of it. It's not about the game, but Final Fantasy Seven remake, the entire game takes place on Midgar, which is like 40 hours. They expand on that story even more. Um, and the cool thing about it is they take the story in a different direction. So it's not like you're playing Final Fantasy VII. It's kind of like a what if scenario, which is pretty cool. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'm really looking forward to it. So and then I'm also looking forward to it, but also a little worried because it's made by Ubisoft. Star Wars Outlaws is supposed to be an open world Star Wars game,
I've seen
which
that.
is
That
something.
looks Interesting.
We needed. But Ubisoft worries me because Assassin's Creed has been shit lately.
I
So,
think they're just trying to beat a dead horse, honestly, with the Assassin's Creed. Which I want to mention the VR stuff I've been seeing
oh yeah,
later
what's in the
on.
VR?
No, specifically, there's a VR Assassin's Creed game that just came out or is coming out or something.
It's out. Assassin's Creed Nexus. I
Yeah,
just saw it in my meta store.
I'd be interested to see it, but I'm not sure how pumped I am to get it.
Right,
But going
right.
back to the most anticipated games, do you ever play Hades?
It's on my list.
It's a good one. It's probably next time it goes on sale, just get it.
It's on Game Pass. Why would I
It's Game
buy it?
Pass. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. Get down on it. Like it's one of those games. That's one of those games where you could play over and over again. I mean, because here's the thing: is like you're never really done with the game. I mean, there is like
Hmm.
an end of the story, but there's so many dialogue. You get almost new dialogue every single time you go through because you just keep grinding and grinding until you beat the game. Which that's another game I almost had the game beat, and then because of my storage issues that we had, wiped everything, so then everything was gone. It was so sad. So I haven't really picked it up a whole lot afterwards, but I would like to. I think my most anticipated games would be Hades 2 and Star Wars,
Yeah,
at
I
least
can
from
see
that
that.
list. However, though, I'm really surprised they don't have Mario RPG on there.
It didn't meet the cutoff date. It went past the cutoff date because the games had to be submitted by a certain time before they could be
Oh,
considered. So this game was released after the fact. So
okay.
I do want to look at content creator of the year, and then one more category after this. I don't know any of these people, but Cypher PK, I do know him. So he's cool. He does a lot of Fortnite content that I like to watch.
Mhm.
Top notch player. I have to say I think he's better than Ninja as far as comes to building. He plays build. Ninja plays zero build now because he doesn't want to keep up with those people anymore.
Yeah.
He's still continuing to playing build and he still ranks up high. Um, so he's got his own skin on Fortnite and then every time he plays a game, he kind of breaks it down. He kind of explains the best builds and why he built that way. It's really cool. So just want to touch on that a little bit.
I
Then
think
our
Real Civil Engineer should have been on that list, but it's fine.
oh yeah, that's true.
Do you ever watch this stuff?
No, I have not. I've heard of him.
I'll have to send you a link. He's just a I think he's my age. Yeah, I think he's like 34, 35, something like that. I think he's within a couple months of my age,
Right.
but he's just a child,
Huh.
and it's great. I don't know. I enjoy I enjoy most of his stuff, especially when he plays like Timberborn. That's a
Right.
good one.
So I always want to. The last category we should hit would be best adaptation. The best adapted game into a series or movie. Right. So this one has Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, the Super Mario movie, and Twisted Metal. So PlayStation has three of them. Um, I mean, I've heard lots of good things about Twisted Metal. I heard it's really gory, everything like that. Last of Us, I heard it's just like the game, so I can kind of see why being good is on my list to watch. Gran Turismo seems really far fetched, but it looks interesting. I'll take it a watch. Super Mario movie, animation wise, beautiful,
Hmm.
right? Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it in
Okay,
theaters with all the kids, including my cousin and his kids, all at the same time. I
yeah,
think, like, okay, so I think for a fun family movie, it was great. I mean, because let's face it, like what can you really do? I mean, obviously Mario has a story, but the story is, oh, I'm sorry, the princess is in another castle. Go away. So
the movie suffers from the same thing as the games. No story.
yeah,
And
I
people
mean,
complain about that. I
yeah,
mean, like, what do you expect? It's Mario. There's no story
yeah.
ever.
But for a movie, because I mean, hell, the kids had a sleepover with one of the neighbor kids last night. And that's what movie they watched. They watched the
I,
Mario movie.
it
It's a
hits all
it's a
the Easter eggs.
yeah,
It
it's all
hit
the
my
Easter eggs.
nostalgic feels. I
Oh
thought it
yeah.
was a good movie.
Oh man, the music was great on it.
Yeah, I don't think it should win the best in that category, but it was good.
Well, what do you think should win best of the category then?
I don't know. So uh,
I can't find that list. Why can't I find that list? And why the hell aren't you scrolling, you stupid computer?
Castlevania Nocturne. Have you seen that? Have you watched any of the
I
Castlevania?
forgot about. Oh, so I've gotten down. I think I'm what second or third season of Castlevania. Like it's been out
The
for a few
original?
years now. The TV show,
Yeah, the original one. The
whatever
original
came out
TV
on
show.
Netflix.
Yeah, there's Castlevania
Okay.
and there's Castlevania Nocturne.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the game and the lore and everything, but I ended up. I watched the first couple seasons. It's a good show. But yeah, I'm not. I haven't gotten down. Honestly, I haven't been on Netflix specifically for a while. I've been doing other stuff, mainly Amazon and some other stuff.
Right. So that makes sense.
I do want to
But
watch the. Honestly, I want to
but
see all of them.
so but anyways, those are our takes on Game of the Year. Now, what is one title that you think should have been at least nominated for Game of the Year that did not make the list? I can only think of one that I think that came out this year that I was really surprised did not make that list. I could give you one. Hogwarts Legacy.
You're right. I'm really surprised that one's not on there.
It got great. I mean, IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, but it did it was a best selling game.
Hmm.
Um, it's probably the best Harry Potter game that's ever come out. That doesn't have to do with Harry Potter. Um, and I mean, granted, there's a few flaws with it. Like, I don't think have you ever played it yet or no?
I haven't.
Okay,
I've got access to it via shared Steam library, but I have not gotten down on it yet.
okay. Um, do you know about Harry Potter though, right? Okay.
I've read most
Uh,
of the books and I've seen all of the movies.
okay. So you're well versed then because I've seen all the movies and I still
Yeah.
can speak on it. Um, there's just no consequences for what you do. You, in the game, when you get the unforgivable curses,
Hmm.
you can cast them like candy, and no one says anything to you.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's one of the things missing from the game. The fact that there's no meter for good or evil. You can literally be evil basically, and there's no consequence. You can cast abracadabra to every single person you see once it's off cooldown. Obviously, you can't cast in the NPCs, but like enemy players.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes when you're near the end of the game, your other good wizards are helping you fight, or you have friends that are good wizards.
Hmm.
They see you casting these spells, and oh, he just cast Crucio on some guy, and just he's being tortured. Okay, cool. Let's move
So
on.
why don't you think it's on the list? Do you think maybe it came out too early in the year or
List, I think there's a lot of content on there that could have been,
hmm.
which I think may that's probably why they snubbed it.
Yeah.
One of the things there's no what's the word we're looking for? There's no consequence for what you do. The open world,
Hmm.
it's it's huge. It's like it's not as big as Tears of the Kingdom, but it's big enough to the point where you can run to some place. You're like, oh, what's the point of this? It's just empty. There's just nothing there. Okay, it was pretty to look at, but I could have done without. You know.
Um,
So
did you ever end up watching the Halo series on Paramount?
I did not, but I did. I heard that his name is now Master Butt Cheeks because they
Yeah.
show him.
You're doing wrong.
So
He's got some master butt cheeks, but no, it's so. Did you? I know you're not that big into Halo, but did you ever watch the movie Forward Unto Dawn?
no, I didn't saw that one.
That movie came out a few years ago. I think it's I think it's really what needs to happen with a lot of TV shows, movies, games. So Forward Unto Dawn, the overall premise was they were on some random planet, and this planet had a training facility for, I guess, young officers and everything. So the concept is like these kids are training and going through their trials and tribulations and all that kind of bullshit, but Eventually, the Covenant come down, and at the very end of the movie, Master Chief just comes in and just fucking murks everybody, and it's dope. I think they need to be doing a lot of that stuff in terms of adaptations. Don't make a movie about Master Chief. Don't make a show about Master Chief. Make a show about ODSTs. And then every once in a while, when they're in a pickle, have Master Chief come down or some other random Spartan come in and just destroy
Yeah,
everything and save their ass. But like we already know who this character is. I think that's one thing about the I really enjoy about the Star Wars universe. A lot of these games, they're not making game. These new shows and stuff aren't surrounding these major iconic characters. They're about other characters doing other things in the universe. Because Reach, the Halo rings, and Earth weren't the only places in the Halo universe. There's all these other, there's Harvest, and then of course there's all the, alien planets and everything. Hell, you can make a show about elites. I'd be interested to watch it.
yeah.
But I think that was
So
their biggest misstep was like, hey, Master Chief, you don't see his face, he doesn't talk a lot, and yet you're making a show where you see his face and he's talking a lot. Like,
right, and his
just
butt
make it about
cheeks.
something.
That's
And
all
his
I
butt
heard.
cheeks. Yeah, I didn't get to see his butt cheeks once in the game. I shouldn't be seeing his butt cheeks in a TV show.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's no, that's all we have for as far as the Game Awards. So, since you are a special guest, I would like to do a little small segment for you. I'll call, would you rather see if so, would you rather PC or console? And there are no wrong answers. Don't get me wrong. I may judge you for some, but there are no wrong answers.
No, PC Master Race, which I found out recently. They're still making PC Master Race videos.
The PC Master Race is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, you remember what videos I'm talking about? The yellow guy who's like ripped, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, yeah, no, I watched a movie that came out like a month and a half ago or something. I'm so happy they're
So,
still keeping that meme going.
would you rather the books or the movie?
It
Like Harry Potter?
depends.
So,
Oh man, that's a hard one to say though, because I mean, I think ultimately the books, like, let's talk, Star Wars movies. Don't get me wrong, I love the prequel trilogy, but I think the books and Clone Wars saved Anakin Skywalker because you just
yeah.
have this super depressed, son of a bitch Anakin. But then when you actually start reading the books, I did all the audiobooks and everything for the prequel. Like, you actually know like what he's thinking. Why is he being a whiny bitch? Oh, he's thinking about this right now. Cool, that makes a hell of a lot more sense.
Right.
So I think
Okay, so
ultimately
see.
books, but I'll be too lazy and do the movies anyway.
Would you rather, let's see. Hmm. Would you rather play Halo or Legend of Zelda?
If you had to cut one, so I guess the question is, if you had to cut one from the universe, I would. Oh, that was a hard one. Why couldn't you have done something? I would say this one's gonna be a hot take. I mean, probably, but I'd probably say Zelda, just because I've had more memories
I mean,
doing
you're right.
co-op multiplayer, couch multiplayer, or doing, LAN parties, drinking Mountain Dew until 3 o'clock in the morning
You talk about
with
Halo or
Halo.
Zelda?
Halo. So
Okay.
if you had to
You
cut
said
one,
Zelda.
sorry, if you had to cut one, cut Zelda, because I have more memories.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing the single player of Zelda a lot more, but I have a lot more
I
memories.
will judge you. I think Zelda, I mean, is better, but I can see where you're coming from. The LAN parties were cool. I did play a lot of Halo 1 and 2
Yeah.
in the college dorms.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. God, I miss LAN
and
parties.
then the final question,
Mhm.
would you rather cook or eat out?
I mean, if I want to be cheap, I would say cook, but let's face it, just, if money wasn't an option, I would eat out. But when we're talking about eat out, I'm not saying go to McDonald's. We're talking about going to like an actual restaurant. So if you're saying
Right.
cook or fast food, cook, or I could go wherever the fuck I want, like Texas Roadhouse, and get myself a slab of ribs. I go to Texas Roadhouse.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. So, I mean, I think we went over a little bit what I wanted, but Game Awards, there's just so much to cover, so much to talk about. I don't think we'll go this long next time, but like I said, there's still, we could have hit so much more, done so much more, but
Hell,
I
Rogan
think
does
we
like
hit
a
a good
4 hour, 3, 4 hour podcast. So I mean, whatever. If we run long, hopefully we're just
yeah.
entertaining enough.
I hope so. We did miss Ray. Um, he was. It's a shame that he couldn't be here. He'll be here for our next one. Tom will probably be here for in future episodes. As you can see, he likes Star Wars, so we'll probably do that. And I'm sure he has some hot takes on Marvel too. So
Yeah, probably. I'm
because
pretty much caught up on all the Marvel stuff, at least cinematic and TV.
I
Disneyverse.
would do a thing on comics and MCU would be two different things. So it's
Yeah.
because you could talk all day about either one of them. But
But yeah,
I
I
think
dabble in
that's
all things nerdy, so obviously invite me back whenever. I'd be more than happy to join.
yeah. It's been great having you. Your hot takes were pretty good. Um, so hopefully, hopefully we'll invite you back again. Anything else for us? Do you have anything that you want to share? Do you have any um, place like you stream, anything like that?
No, haven't gotten there yet. I've been wanting to make a present, but as of right now, anything that I probably have on social media will just get me canceled. Anyway, so I've got some other projects I'm wanting to do at some point in time. So I'll probably be creating new social media and starting fresh with that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, as of
Well,
right
if
now, my name's Tom. It was nice joining everybody here.
yeah, and I was gonna say if you want to find me, I do have a couple of things I work on. I do have my blog. It's called Surge Gaming Reviews or Surge Reviews. If you find me on Facebook and Instagram, I am there, and my Instagram actually has my links for everything, so you can kind of see there. I will post my link tree in the description of this podcast, so you can click it and see everything I have to offer. We'll be posting this podcast where you listen to yours. It will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Like and
So
subscribe.
yep, I was gonna say like and subscribe, share the word, tell your friends about it, um, share ideas, uh, you know, comment on my podcast for ideas, question blocks. Once we start getting questions, you can ask the nerds. The nerds will have the answers for it. I promise you. And if we don't, we'll just lie to you. Simple as that.
It's not about knowing;
So
it's about acting like you know.
exactly, I can search the web. I'll find it all day long because
Yeah,
it's
Serge and I
easy.
we've done sales once or twice in our lives.
That's right. So, but as always, like and subscribe, share the wealth, and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, Surge Gaming Reviews. Um, we will have a YouTube channel for this one in the future, but right now it's still a work in progress. So, as always, stay classy, gamers.
Take care.